Filipinos love to eat, and Filipinos abroad, they're no different. Today, I'm talking about a dish we always give to our foreign friends the first time we introduce Filipino cuisine into their culinary lives. So the ingredients we have obviously pork, and then I'll cut that into cubes. Got a bit of spring onion here for later. We're using a lot of garlic, essential and that's an essential ingredient of the dish. So we're using a lot of that. Obviously we've got pepper, and we've got bay leaves as well. So I'll show you all the ingredients once I've got it ready. So you're probably asking, why am I suddenly cooking? So the reason being is I always find adobo to be quite, when you're introducing someone to Filipino cuisine, I found it with Vicky, the first dish that I gave her when we first went out. First Filipino dish anyway, adobo. It's adobo chicken. Is it because it's safe? It's a flavor combination that probably a lot of people will find easy to digest. Soy sauce, marinade, vinegar, garlic. So ingredients na they are familiar with. So maybe that's part of the reason why. And one of the things that you will notice as well with adobo is that every single Filipino seems to have their own recipe on how to make it. So there's not one exact recipe for adobo. Some people like it with a bit of sauce. Some people like it quite dry. I prefer it to be sort of in the middle, semi-dry, pero it's got enough sauce. So as you can see, I'm preparing the garlic there, and in this dish you need a lot of garlic. It's a bit annoying because then your hands smell of garlic all day, but there you go. It's okay, small price to pay, ika nga. So just chop that into bits. Some people really like putting a lot of garlic. Again, I'm sort of in the middle. I think that's enough. So I've got my garlic, and then we'll put the bay leaves later on once we make the timpla in a minute. So now we've got the pork, so we'll chop that into sort of smaller pieces like this. Just enough. Yan bang sabi sa Pinoy, sakto lang na isang sulbo. So today we're just using pork. You can use chicken, and then you can use a mixture of pork and chicken, which is what I normally do, because it's a lot tastier that way, because you've got the tastiness of the chicken stock with the the fattiness of the pork. Obviously, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, this isn't obviously for you. But yeah. So again, why am I waxing philosophical about adobo? I mean, it's quite symbolic to me. Kasi syempre, you cook a dish for people you like, people you love, and adobo is that first dish that you let especially your foreign friends, you give it to them and you let them try it, and then you just hope for the best. But for the most part, I think people like it. and definitely the first dish that I've had some of my British friends. I had them try that. So, like I said, different people do their adobo differently. So I start off by boiling the pork. Just gets rid of a lot of the impurities, and then I get rid of it as I boil it. And as I boil it, I put the bay leaf in there. And it cleanses it. So anyway, let's put that boiled and then we'll wait. So obviously, you know, adobo won't be adobo without the sauces and the things that make it adobo, which is obviously soy sauce. And today I'm choosing to use Filipino soy sauce and Filipino vinegar. Not everybody uses this, but I do. I put a bit of oyster sauce in there just to give it a little bit of sweetness, and obviously a bit of Maggi seasoning. But the meat in itself is very flavorful, so it will give the broth a lot of flavor. So we'll just wait for that to boil, and then we'll carry on later. Oh, I forgot to put the garlic in there, and we'll just let that all simmer and boil and tenderize, and then we'll get back to you later. So adobo will not be complete without one essential companion, and that's rice. Specifically, fresh boiled rice. You can have fried rice, obviously, pero sa akin, it's still best if you have freshly boiled rice with it. So you don't always have to do this, no? Pero when I cook adobo, I always have it with egg. Kasi according to Vicky, my other half, it's wrong not to. Okay? Once you've had adobo with egg, you can't have adobo without egg. So that's why I'm doing it. The egg, I'm boiling the egg, and then obviously we'll peel it, and then we'll include it in the final. When we finally dish it up, you marinate the egg in a little bit with the sauce later on, so the sauce will be a bit thicker when we're all done. You'll see the finished product later on. So this one, so at this point, check lang natin. We're just checking if the belly, pork belly. So I use pork belly here. So I'm just checking whether it's tender enough. Okay, so needs a bit more work. I mean, a bit more time. Okay, and then we'll get the sauces in. It's slightly tender now. I'd like it to be a little bit more tender, but I think we've got enough time. We can then put the sauces down. Before I did nursing, my very first job was to work in a kitchen. So a lot of Filipinos will be familiar with the restaurant group Triple V, where the restaurant group consists of Kamayans, Aisaki, Islands Fishermen. So I was in the Kamayan section. So I worked with this chef. Technique he told me was that whenever you cook with soy sauce and vinegar, your safest bet is you start off with a 2-to-1 combination. So that means if you're using 2 scoops of soy sauce, you use 1 scoop of vinegar, and then you taste as you go along, and then you won't go wrong. You won't put too much soy sauce, nor will you put too much vinegar. So so I've been following that formula for the best part of 30 years. So we're gonna start off with two ladlefuls of soy sauce and 1 of vinegar. So anyway, that looks a little bit pasty, so I'm gonna put another one. and then half vinegar. And then you take as you go along. Obviously, that's that's how we should do it. But so you know if you need a bit more flavor. So not everybody does this, but I like doing this. So I'll put a little bit of oyster sauce just to give it a bit of your umami taste, a bit of depth. And then as it tenderizes, it also marinates the meat. So you've got your sauces there now. There's just a little bit of this, just a good measure. And then you let that simmer again. So we're just gonna get this to cool down, and then we'll peel it shortly. Ow, 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 ow. So at this point, we're just trying to reduce the sauce, so it gets thick and flavorful. So why am I talking about cooking adobo, and why am I waxing philosophical about it? It's probably because like I said, when we get introduced to people from other lands, from other countries, and we want to introduce them to Filipino cuisine, this is always the first dish that we give them, because A, it's safe, B, there's no strict recipe to it. Anyone can do it. Anyone can make their own adobo. That's why it's called to each their own adobo. Some people like it saucy, some people like it dry. And when I say people, I mean Filipinos. Some like it in the middle, like I do. And you feel safe, there's no outward flavors, there's no wild flavors that some of our foreign friends might not like. So it's a safe bet, and it's a safe, delicious bet, because I have yet to meet anyone who's from another country and tried adobo and didn't like it. In fact, one of the top chefs here in the UK, I think his name's Jason Atherton, he's married to a Filipina, and that's one of his favorite dishes. So that is why I decided to make a video about probably one of the humblest dishes in the Philippines, but what I also consider the most popular. So this is another garnish that I'd like to add. Again, not everybody does this, but I know a lot of people who do. And like I said earlier, according to Vicky, my other half, once you've had adobo with boiled egg, there's no looking back. So now you can see, it's tender now. I can just cut the fat with this. So, and then this is what I do. So this is another thing that I don't think it's unique to me, but it's how I cook adobo. So towards the end of it, I remove the sauce. Okay. So I take off the sauce, so you're left with a semi-dry pan, not completely dry. So, and this is when I stir fry a little bit. brown a little bit. You can put a little bit of oil, but I don't think you need any more because it's got its own fat. So because I've also got some garlic granules just to give it a bit more. I just sprinkle a little bit of garlic granules. And the last bit of pepper. Try the sauce. Just to give it a bit of sweetness. Just a tiny bit of sugar there. And then I put it back. Over the heat. Try the sauce. I think we're there. So as you can see, it's not too dry, but it's not too much sauce either. Just enough to coat your freshly boiled rice. And the dish is done. And last, but most certainly not least, is just sprinkle a bit of freshly cut spring onion on top, and that just finishes off the dish. There you go. Each their own adobo. There we go. So that is my adobo, pork adobo for this episode. And in usual Filipino fashion, kain na po tayo. And if you do like these videos that we make, please consider subscribing to help us out. Thank you very much, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon. Let's eat. Bye-bye.